everyone. Today we are going to do EBIT and EPS analysis. So first we can see what is meant by EBIT and EPS analysis. So this EBIT and EPS analysis, it's an important tool for the financial manager to get an insight into the firm's capital structure. The earnings before interest and tax is denoted as EBIT, and EBT means from the EBIT we are deducting the interest payable to debenture holders or long-term loans. So this EBIT and EPS analysis is an important tool for managerial decision making, and at the same time to find out the earning per share, how much will be the changes in the earning per share according to changes in the EBIT of a firm. So through this analysis, we can find out how much there is an increase in the earning per share according to changes in the EBIT of a firm. So once again, I will tell you, EBIT means it's a measure of company's earnings from its ordinary continuing operating activities. It does not include any non-operating activity. And EBT means from the EBIT, we are deducting the interest payable to debenture holders and long-term loans taken by the firm. So, from EBIT minus interest is EBT. And earning per share denotes how much earnings per share will get from the earnings of the company. How we can find out the total earnings divided by the number of equity shareholders or shareholders. So this earnings before interest and taxes or after interest or taxes divided by number of equity shareholders, that will from that we can get what the earning per share. Thus, the EBIT and EPS analysis can be used simultaneously. Either we can use EPS analysis or we can use EBIT analysis. EBIT analysis shows the effect of financial leverage on EPS. The effect of financial leverage on EPS. Thus, we can find out through the EBS and through the EBIT and EPS analysis, we can find out the relationship between the EBIT and the EPS, and what will be the effect of changes in EBIT on EBT of a firm or EPS of a firm. Thus, the value of EPS is different from the level of EBIT. Always the value of EPS, that is earning per share, is different from EBIT. EBIT means earning before interest and tax. It also depends upon the proportion of debt equity mix in the capital structure. How much will be the debt? How much will be the equity? The debt equity ratio will be ratio in the capital structure will be denoted by which one? This EBIT and EPS analysis. So once again I will tell you the value of EPS is the different values or EPS is different at different levels of EBIT. It also depends upon the proportion of debt equity mixture of or debt equity mix in the capital structure. So it is analyzed to advise an appropriate capital structure that would have been large in the effect of EBIT. Thus, EBIT and EPS analysis is an important tool for in the study for the financial manager to get an insight into the profitability of the business. Now we can see we can continue with the practical side of EBIT and EPS analysis. When we analyze the practical side of EBS and EPS analysis, the first problem is given in the video, that is a firm has an all equity capital structure consisting of 1 lakh ordinary shares of rupees 10 per share. The company is already having 1 lakh equity share of 10 rupees per share. The firm wants to raise 2,50,000 rupees to finance the investments, and it's considering 3 alternative methods of financing. They want to raise 50,000 additional capital, and 3 ways they are finding out. The first one is to issue 25,000 ordinary shares of rupees 10 each. In the first case, to raise 2,50,000 rupees, they are issuing 25,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each. In the second case, they decided to borrow 2,50,000 rupees at 8% rate of dividend. So dividend is payable to preference shareholders. So we can say the second is issue of 2,50,000 rupees as dividend to shareholders. And the third case to borrow 2,50,000 rupees at 8% of interest. Interest is payable on long-term borrowing. So the third case is long-term borrowing. So through three methods they are going to raise the capital. First one is issuing equity shares, second one issuing preference shares, and third one debt financing. Debt financing means taking long-term loans on interest. So the question is how much will be the earning per share in the three financing activities. Under three financing alternatives, which will get more earning per share. So we can make the conditions into three. First one is equity financing, second one is debt financing, and third one is preference financing. You can see the video, the problems are given. Okay, so we should start always with the EBIT. The problem it is given, 3,12,500 is the EBIT. So EBIT equal to 3,12,000 in all the cases. First we have to deduct interest from that. From EBIT, first we have to deduct interest. Only in one case there is interest. Which case? Debt financing. Debt financing means the third one, 2,50,000 rupees at 8% rate of interest. So 2,50,000 into 8 by 100. How much it is coming? 20,000 rupees. So you can see less interest it is given in debt financing. We have deducted. In the other two cases, there is no debt. And in the third case, so we have got the amounts 3,12,500, 2,92,500 and 3,12,500. This is your EBT. That is from EBIT. If we are deducting interest, we will get EBT. So the first step is to deduct interest. And the second case is to deduct taxes. Tax it is given 50%. So all the three cases we are deducting tax. Then we will get EAT, that is earning after tax. Then we are deducting preference dividend only in one case, that is 2,50,000 at the rate of 8% dividend. So 8% also 20,000 is coming. In the third case we have deducted. So we got earnings available to ordinary shareholders. That is we have paid interest, we have paid tax and we have paid preference dividend. So we got the amount which is available to the equity shareholders. This amount is to be divided by the number of equity shares. We can find out how much is the number of equity shares. Already the company is having 1 lakh equity shares with them. And in the first case, they are issuing 25,000 equity shares. So how much is the amount? 1,25,000 is the equity share in the first case. Second case, only 1 lakh because there is no new issue. Only preference shares are issued. In the third case also, no issue there, we have taken loan. So in the first case, the number of equity shares is 1,25,000 and the other two cases, the number of equity shares is only 1 lakh each. So we are dividing that amount with the number of equity shareholders. So we are getting EPS 1.25, 1.46 and 1.36. So the firm is also able to get the maximum earnings per share from the second case, that is debt financing. In the case of debt financing, we are getting earning per share 1.46. The other two cases it is coming 1.25 and 1.36. With increasing levels of EBIT, what we can do, EPS will increase at faster rate with a higher degree of leverage. This is a conclusion. That is, with increasing levels of EBIT, when the EBIT is increasing, EPS will increase at a faster rate with a high degree of leverage. Understood? So this is the first question. And the second question you can take. Again you can see the video. A company has EBIT of 4,80,000 rupees and its capital structure consisting of following securities. The following securities are given. Equity share capital is there, preference share capital is there, 14.5% debentures are there. The company is facing fluctuations in its sales. if EBIT of the company increased by 25% and if the EBIT of the company decreased by 25%, two cases are given there. That is, in the first case, the EBIT increases by 15%. In the second case, the EBIT increases by how much? Decreases by 25%. So that is the second question. And the third question, it is given third question. That is ABC Company Limited. That is the second problem is as usual as the first one. And the third problem, it is given. Four choices are there. ABC Company has currently ordinary share capital of 25 lakh consisting of 25,000 shares or rupees 100 each. The management is planning to raise another 20 lakh to finance a major program of expansion through one of the four possible financial plans. They want to raise more 20 lakh. For that purpose, they are finding out four financial possibilities. First one is entirely through ordinary shares. That is, entire 20 lakh they are raising through issuing ordinary shares. That is a proposal 1. You can see the answer, proposal 1. In the second case, 10 lakh ordinary shares and 10 lakh borrowings. 10 lakh rupees they are raising through ordinary equity shares and 10 lakh rupees they are raising through loans or at the rate of 8%, long-term borrowings at the rate of 8%. In the third case, 5 lakh through ordinary shares and 15 lakh through borrowings. And the fourth case, 10 lakh through ordinary shares and 10 lakh through preference shares at the rate of 5% dividend. So four proposals are there. So it is given as columnar. So we are starting with EBIT. What is the amount of EBIT? In all the cases, 8 lakh. Then first we have to deduct interest. Interest is coming only in the case of two. Proposal 2 and proposal 3, they are taking long-term loans. In the first case, the long-term borrowing it at 8% and the second case, the long-term borrowings at 9%. So we have deducted that interest amount. So we are getting EBT. From that, 50% tax is deducted. So 50% tax in all the cases we'll have to deduct. So we will get EAT. EAT means earnings after tax. Then we have to deduct the preference dividend. Only in one case dividend is there, 10 lakh at the rate of 5%. That is preference share capital. It is deducted. Proposal 4. It is given in lakhs. Actually, it is given in lakhs, but it is given 8 point like that. Then, so we got the earnings to equity shareholders. In the case, first case it is 4 lakh. In the second case, it is 3,60,000. In the third case, it is 3,32,000. And in the fourth case, it is 3,50,000. It is being divided by the number of equity shareholders. We can see. Already, the company is having 25,000 equity shares with us. In the first case, they are issuing full ordinary shares to raise 20 lakh rupees. So, how much will be the amount? 25,000 plus 20,000. 20,000 means 20 lakh rupees they have to raise. And one share is costing how much? 10 rupees. So 20,000 equity shares. So 25,000 already they are having and 20,000 they are issuing. So in total how much shares they are having? 45,000. In the second case, 25,000 they are already having plus how much they are issuing? 10 lakh rupees. That means 10,000. So 25,000 plus 10,000, it is coming 35,000. In the third case, it is coming 30,000. That is 25,000 plus 5,000. In the fourth case, 25,000 plus 10,000. So it is coming 35,000. Then we are dividing the earnings per equity. That is 4 lakh divided by 45,000, 3,60,000 divided by 35,000, 3,32,000 divided by 30,000, and 3,50,000 divided by 35,000. So the number we got, because each share is costing, the first case one share is costing 10 rupees. In the 100 rupees. 100 rupees means 100 rupees, 25 lakh, 20 lakh we are raising. So number of shares is 20 lakh divided by 100. So it is coming how much? 20,000. In the second case, 5 lakh is raising, 10 rupees per share. So 5 lakh divided by 10. How much? 5 lakh rupees, 5 lakh ordinary shares they are issuing. So 5 lakh divided by 10, it is coming 100, it is coming 50,000. How much? 10,000. And in the second case, it is 10 lakh, not 5 lakh. And in the third case, it is 5 lakh. So 5,000 shares. 5 lakh divided by 100, 5,000 shares. And in the third case, 10 lakh. So again, it is coming 10,000. So with the already 25,000, we are adding the additional number of equity shares, not amount, number. Then we are getting total number of equity shares in 4 cases. So from the above analysis, we can see that which one is having the higher amount. The proposal 3, that is, they are getting 11.07 per equity share. That is 5 lakh through ordinary shares and 15 lakh through long-term borrowings at the rate of 9% interest per annum. So in this case, we can say that the proposal 3 gives the highest earning per share, and the company should recommend this for its future activities. So this small portion is over. I hope you have understood it. You have to do all the 3 problems again and find out how we are finding out the earning per share and which proposal is good for a company to decide about the capital structure or additional capital investment. Hope all of you have understood. So again, do the problems and make it thorough. So thank you very much.